I've been thinking of doing for 10 years, but I didn't know if it actually made sense. But I was thinking of creating my own distribution and propose a service to artists directly. So it's something that I did with Luis, who's, I don't know if Luis, you're still here, but because I have an extremely good deal with Believe, I can actually charge people to distribute for them through Believe. But in reality, what I could do was look how much it costs to create a distribution platform where you make money from everybody that is using your platform. You just take 10%. And whenever they make $100, you make $10. If you have 1,000 artists that are all making $1,000 a month, for example, well, you make 1,000 times $100 a month. And now it's starting to be interesting. You just need to know, what do you have to program? How much does it cost? Servers to hold everybody's music so that they can be able to upload the music, or service to help them. And then you need to have interface with all the music distribution around the world, and you have to program all this. And listen, because every distribution is asking for a specific format for the audio and the video and the covers and etc. But once you have everything programmed, when your customer upload their WAV files and their cover art, then your system in there will turn the cover into the different size for the different distributors, the different audio in the different specification of every distributor, and just send them. And then after that, you find a structure and on how the artists pay you. Either you take 20% of their revenue, and then or they pay X amount per year for unlimited distribution. You find something that works for everybody. And because in the Zouk world, in the African music world, and there's a lot of music that is still not online, or there's a lot of people that they don't know how to do, and there's a lot of new generation artists that they know how to do it. Listen, it's something that I was thinking of doing like 10 years ago. I was like, yeah, listen, let me just do it for me, and let me do it for everybody, because then you talk directly to people and you tell them, hey, listen, come release your music with us. We can help you. We can, finance music videos. There's a lot of things that you can do like at a point, because as I've always tell you, I have the stadium mentality. It's good to play the football game, but it's better to own the stadium, because when you own the stadium, you don't care who wins the game, you win. All you need to do is have people that are coming to watch the games. So it's something that I've been thinking. The only way to really be independent is to be to own the vertical and the horizontal. Like you watching this on YouTube, right? But YouTube can decide to remove my channel whenever they want. Find whatever technicality and poof, it's gone, right? You listen to my music on Spotify, same thing. They can get bought by Universal or whatever, something. If I stream directly on Kaysha.com, and my music is directly available to download directly on Kaysha.com, and maybe instead of paying Spotify $15 a month, you pay Kaysha.com $1 a month. If you have 50,000 people that are subscribed to just $1 a month, you make $50 a month, you're good. You're good. You don't care. You don't need a hit. You did it. You have direct consumer and nobody in between. And this is something that I've been always fighting for. So before iTunes, I had a store called Sushiro Ultra Digital Store that I programmed myself in PHP, where you could go on Kaysha.com and I had a folder inside of a folder where all the music was hidden. And whenever you would buy directly using, I don't think it was even PayPal. I don't even remember how it would be paid, but you could download the music directly from my website. And yeah, I remember selling a song for $1. It was my dollar. And it was not like when you sell on iTunes, you get $1 minus 30% from Apple. I was getting $1, my dollar, that's it. And I actually stopped doing this because it made more sense to be on iTunes, because all the credit cards were on iTunes already. So it was not costing me a ton of money to have my own website, but I still have to store people's credit card, etc., and make sure it was secure on my website. So if I had a leak or somebody hacked my website, I would be responsible for all this. And as a one-man operation, I was like, eh. But then the iTunes store happened. And actually, I was looking at my own sales from my own store, Sushiro Ultra Digital. And I was also watching my sales on iTunes. And back in the days, I was making, 1,000 sales a week. So I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm doing 5 sales on my store. And I make 1,000 euros here every week. Well, in terms of convenience, people, once they put their credit card somewhere, they don't need to put their credit card everywhere. And they trust Apple, so okay, cool. So then I just started to abandon my own store to just let people use iTunes. iTunes was king for 10 years. And then after that, Spotify started, Deezer, all these different platforms. And then I said to myself, well, and it was the same time where all of us abandoned even the idea of having our own websites. Bueno, Carlos, all of us abandoned the idea of having our own websites because Facebook was more interesting than having your own website. Instagram, Facebook. So you had a Facebook page. It was better than having your website because back then the engagement was crazy. And then same thing. Instead of selling directly to customer on your website, it was actually better to be on iTunes and just put the link to iTunes. And then all these platforms started messing up, started giving you new rules, telling you can't do this, you cannot do that. Oh, I don't like your cover art. And I was like, what? And then Facebook started telling you that, finally all your posts that used to have like 1,000 likes and 100 comments, if you want them to be seen, you have to pay now. And then that's when you realize that you got tricked. And that's how I feel about the whole music industry thing. And now it kind of doesn't make sense to sell directly to customers because you're going to have 5 people willing to buy. Most people, they already have their credit card in Deezer, Apple, iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, XYZ, SoundCloud, whatever it is, or YouTube. And they're not willing to pay an extra just for you. But distribution could be interesting because instead of making money just from yourself, you make money from everybody that is using you to get to those platforms. So you become the middleman. And one day, if you are evil enough, like me, Universal comes to you and say, you know, you're big. And you're like, yeah, thanks. Okay, how much you want? Give me a number. 100 million? Where do I sign? So yeah, listen, it is what it is.